Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Electra, the superhero. For this pattern, you're going to want some red bands, skin tone, brown for the hair, brown beads or bands for the eyes. You could also use green or do something with white and color it in. I'm going to be using some smaller beads, so I'll use some dental floss. I'll show you how you can thread those on using dental floss. And one gray or silver, optional for the armband. And you can see here, I'm not going to do this part with you, but this is a seed bead that's just been put onto a thread and tied around the neck. So pretty straightforward if you want to add a necklace after. We are going to need a hook and holding hook, C-clip or two, your loom in the offset configuration, and we are ready to start. So we'll do the arms first. Take 2 skin tone bands, and I'm using the darker tan here just so it shows up better on camera with the lighting I've got, but a lighter color is good, and you can use whatever you have and are comfortable with. Wrap 2 times, pull onto 8 sets of double skin tone bands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll make the second arm in exactly the same way. Take 2 skin tone. Now you can leave this where it is or put it on another hook if that's more comfortable for you. Wrap once and twice and onto 8 sets of double skin tone bands. Oops, slipped there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Before we put the arms aside, or you can do this later if you choose to, I'm going to do it now. Take 2 reds, stretch it a little. Oh, 3 reds, we used 3. Put them together on your fingers, stretch them a little bit. Got some dust or something here. Over the arm, twist it, and back over the way you would put a ponytail holder in your hair. You can just sort of pull that down to the wrist. We'll do that again on the other side. 3 reds. Over. Twist the red piece back over. And the last thing for the arm is 1 red and 1 thick silver. Or you could do 2 reds and a silver, or you could do a red or 2 and a gray if you have a thinner kind of band. Pick an arm, it doesn't matter which. Over, give it a good twist, and back over again, roll it up a little. Okay, let's go to the loom. We're gonna start laying out the body, and we can make our legs when we're ready to put those on. We're gonna come down 3 times in the middle with double skin tone bands. And once from the second center to the second side with double skin tone, and once from the second center to the second peg down on the opposite side. And we're going to come down 2 times in the middle with double red bands, starting from the 4th peg to the 5th peg, and again from the 5th to the 6th. And on each of the sides we are going to come down until we reach the, I think that's the 6th peg. Okay, double reds, come down once, 2nd to 3rd, twice, 3 times, and 4 times. Oh, and you know what? I almost forgot something. So hold on one second. Take off that last set you just did. And from the 3rd to the 4th peg down, to get the larger bosom area, we're actually going to stack this up a little bit and get some extra bands. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands from the 3rd peg to the 4th peg down on the side. And then we'll come down 2 more sets just with double bands. Glad I caught that. Would have been a bit of a bother to add that in later. Okay, other side, same thing. We're gonna do, this is similar to what I did when I was doing my Archie characters, and my Veronica looks a little bit like this, so that's where that part's from. 4 bands and another 4 makes 8. If you feel that that's gonna be too much, you can use fewer bands. This will just give that added thickness that we want. Now in the middle, I had 2 sets of double skin tone bands. Now if you want to make the second set of red, you can do that. Trying to sort of show you how that would look here. I wanted the belly to go a little bit deeper on mine, but that's your choice. I think this time, just for kicks, I'm going to do it with the double red. So if you put a second set of double skin tone, it will look like this. And if you follow me and do the next set in red, it's going to be more like that. Okay? So that's your choice completely. And we need 1 more set of double red in the middle row. Okay, on either side we're going to come down with 1 set of double skin tone bands from the 6th peg down to the 7th peg down, and 1 more set of double red bands down on either side. Okay, good. For our arms, we can put these now onto the loom. And I'm gonna put, I'm trying to remember which way we did this. Alright, we're going to put, looking at my picture here, the one with the gray on it onto the side. That's going to be furthest from you when you're looping up, when we're doing the rest here. So it's going to go on the right side, and the other one is going to go on the side closest to you. If you're not entirely sure or you've got any worries, it's okay. The very worst thing that could happen is you get them backwards or decide to have it the other way around, and then you would just take these off and reattach them on the other arm. But I'm planning to flip the body, so that's where it will stay. We're going to do some holding bands. We've got a single red going across the 3rd pegs down, and that will form a triangle. And the next 2 are going to be as tight as you can comfortably make them. So let me get one that's already a little stretched out here, but not so stretched out that it will break. Stretch, twist, put it back on top of itself, bring it across the 4th pegs down, and we're going to do that again on the one below. And this next one, I'm going to see if I can make it even a little bit tighter so it cinches it in. So to do that, I'm going to bring it across, twist, bring it across again, and then twist and try to bring it back an extra half time to the middle. If you're having a hard time, just double it over again. Do your best. You could even just wrap this back around the 1st peg instead of pulling it back to the center, because it's going to be a little tight when we're looming, but we should be okay. The next 2 are going to be singles, so just take a single and a single, stretch them across your 6th pegs down and your 7th pegs down, I believe those are. And now we can make the legs to add on. So the legs are all in red. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I've got to make an annotation there. I'll try and add it on after, which is that we could play around with colors. So if you wanted to have some legs showing or the boots to be a different color, you can do that. And I wanted to make a note, you could do her and the whole thing in black if you wanted, really. I hope I could still do annotations. I know YouTube's been changing a lot of things. Legs, it's 2 reds wrapped on the hook 1, 2, 3 times. hold on to 2 sets of double red bands. 1, I just have my nails done, I'm trying not to break them here. 1 and 2. Take a single, stretch, twist, double it over, just like we did on those holding bands, pull it through. And then we need 8 sets of double red bands, same length as the arms. 2, so each of these has 2 bands held together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We need to make the other leg as well. Got that nice little bend there now. Good. Take 2 bands. On the end of the hook, wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Feel free to transfer that first one to another band if it's in your way, or sorry, another hook if it's in your way. Onto 2 sets of double reds. It's 1, so it's 2, so take 2 together, pull it through. And then we need to double 1 over. So single, stretch, twist, double it over, pull it through. And then 8 sets of double red bands. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm wanting to do this pattern for such a long time, it just haven't got to it, so now I'm very pleased to be bringing this to you. I'm gonna put it on a playlist, I think, with Daredevil and the Flash. I got some other superheroes up on my channel, which I haven't looked at in a while. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, I should put this with them, I'm thinking. Okay. We've got our 2 legs. They're going to go together onto 2 red bands. So take 2, end of the hook, put a little tension on it, and you can push and pull your legs till they're over. And we're going to put one side onto the 8th peg down on the side closest to you, and the other will stretch across to the opposite side. Like so. And I'm going to put one part of the leg piece up over the peg above in the middle there. Not terribly important, but it will make it sit just a little bit tighter. We are ready to loop up the body. Okay, we're going to start in the middle. Go to that 9th peg down, the last one where you see your band. Take your hook, point the open part up and away from you, grab those 2 bands and bring them forward until they settle onto the peg above. Push back the band holding the legs, reach inside for the 2, bring them forward, and we're going to loop until we get to the 2nd peg from the top. We'll go to the 3rd peg from the top. So the 3rd peg down in the middle, you can stop there, and we'll loop those 2 up when we're done everything else. Come down to the bottom again and look on the side. You should see a bottom layer of bands coming down. You can push them down if it's difficult to see, or push the other bands carefully up a little bit. Take your hook, point it up away from you, push back the bands with the legs on it, scoop up the bottom 2, around, and put it onto the next peg up. Make sure you get them both on. Reach in, push back your holding band, get the next 2 and bring them up. And repeat 2 more times. It's going to be a little tension at that 5th peg from the top, and when you get to the 3rd to 4th pegs here, remember there are 8 bands, so you can take 1 or 2 or 3 at a time and scoop them up until you get them all, or you can be daring like me and try to grab all of them at once. Feel free to pause the video if you want a little more time to do this carefully. And if you do see something slip off, it's okay. You just pull the bands back and do it again. Okay, we're going to reach in. When you're ready, bottom 2, bring them forward. and reach through the arms until you get to the 2 bands coming diagonally from the second center. You might want to use your hook or finger to pull them out to the side so you can see them better. Down to the bottom on the opposite side. Get your bottom 2 reds and loop straight up the way we just did on the side closest to us. All 8 on that next peg. I tell you, I always love the characters like this one that have really good symmetry, because it makes it easier to plan. It makes things more balanced, makes just the whole process a lot smoother. So I looped up 2 more times in the middle there. You can kind of look and just see that nothing's sticking out or hanging on the bottom. If you've got a good smooth appearance, you're all clear. Hold on to the bands on the top center peg and you can carefully ease off the rest of the looped up bands. Very careful when you get to those central torso sections, because we've got those doubled over holding bands. If you see anything loose, try to grab it, weave it, fix it before it becomes a problem. You can use a C-clip and your hook to secure it a little better if something is amiss. And when most of this has been loosened, you can put your hook through the bands on the top center peg. Make sure you've got 4 loops on there and pull off. Okay. Let's give it a little tug. Now I'm going to take my hook out while holding on so I can put it through from the other direction. But we'll make it easier. I'm just going to show you. Take another hook, put it through the back to the front, so it's going in the opposite direction, because when we lay this down we want it to be facing face down. And again, this isn't a huge deal. Don't panic if it goes the other way. You just won't have as much of the torso effect we were trying to get, but it's okay. You should be good if you've got it facing away from you right now. We're going to come back to the loom and do the hair and the face, and then we can put everything together. Okay, so we've got brown bands, 2 from the top center to the top right, 2 from the top center to the top left, and 1 set of double brown bands down on each row. Okay, switch to skin tone, but don't put away your brown just yet. Skin tone, 3 sets of double bands down the center, starting at the second peg down. And 2 sets of skin tone bands, double skin tone, down on either side, starting at the second peg down. Take 2 bands, skin tone, 4th side to 5th center, and 4th side to 5th center. We're going to double over our holding bands, all skin tone, all singles. Go from across the second pegs down, and then across the 4th pegs down. I'm going to give you a couple of, I guess you'd say, options here. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do a doubled over holding band and then get another skin tone. Put your bands or your beads, I'm going to show you, like I said, this whole thing both ways. Take your, let's say you're doing bands, you would wrap each 1, 2, 3 times, 1 for each eye, and pull both onto that skin tone and bring it across the 3rd peg to the 3rd peg, one side to the other. Separate and put one part over the center. So that's the easiest way to do this, but you will be using an extra band and your eye band will be a little loose. Now the other way you can do this is to get the beads directly onto that doubled over band, which is a little harder but sort of saves a step, and as I said, saves a band. So if you've got beads with a smaller hole in them, I'm just going to grab a couple here. I'm going to use black this time. You would put both of them onto your piece of floss or your hook if the hole is larger. Double over your skin tone band, put the floss through, bring it back over, and you can see I'm holding this to keep it shaped, but you could put it on a hook as well. Put the floss back through from the opposite direction, pull it until it's on the band, and I'm holding onto the floss, and now I'm going to transfer the band from my finger onto the third peg down, and the other side is going to go onto the third peg down across from it. So now we've got our tight doubled over band and we've got our eyes on it, and if you're using wrapped bands you could do the same thing, except that it would be 1, 2, 3. Here, I thought I'd make things simpler for you, and now you gotta watch me do this 3 different ways. To do it with the eyes, with the band eyes, double it over, slide them over, and slide them on. That's for bands. So those are a couple of different ways to do it. I hope that wasn't too confusing, but allowed you to find to do the best way for you. We're gonna take one part of the eye band over the third peg down in the middle, and you'll do this regardless of the method you use to attach the eye. Okay. Last thing is our hair extensions, and we're gonna do a single brown, wrap 1, 2, 3. Pull onto 10 sets of double brown bands. We're just going to make a long chain. You can adjust the length according to your legs, but Electra does have very long hair, so I tried to stay true to that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. We'll make the second one in a minute, but first let's attach this. The bands that are on the hook will go onto the second peg, sorry, the top peg down on the side. And what we're going to do is stretch this chain out. Turn it this way so I can hold it and show you. And you can see each of the next sections will start to line up. You can see where they end. So from each one you want to take one band, one piece of a band, and pull it over that second peg down. Grab a piece out of the next chain to go on the third peg down, and one more goes onto the fourth peg down, like so. Let's make one for the opposite side, and we'll pop the body on and loop it all up. 1, 2, 3, and you could do it a little tighter or a little looser. It doesn't matter so much. I'm gonna continue with my chain though, so here's 2, we need 10 again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll attach it on the other side exactly as we did on the first. Bands go on to the top side peg. Make sure you transfer them all. Pull your chain down just a little until the links line up, and then grab one out of each section to pull over the pegs below. Okay. Take the hook that has your body on it. Make sure again that the side you want in the front is facing away from you. And we are gonna, I'm almost wondering if I do want to move that armband later. Well, we'll see where it comes out. Take the bands, transfer them for your hook to the fifth peg down in the middle. And stretch this, I'm going to stretch this down a little bit. I wouldn't recommend this unless you're having trouble seeing, because it will stretch out your neck bands, but I wanted to be able to show you this a little more clearly. So we're going to reach inside the neck piece, find the next 2 bands below it, and loop them up and over to the left side, the closer side. Go back in for the next two, bring them to the right, and the last ones are going up, and you can loop straight up the center starting at that fourth peg down. I'm gonna release the neck now before I, like I said, stretch this too much. We're gonna go in on, make sure that's, oh, that's good. We are gonna go in on the side, push back all of these top bands, and grab only the bottom two skin tone and loop them forward. Push back all but your bottom two, looking for two skin tone, bring them forward, and then your bottom two brown. Stay inside those holding bands and then loop to the center, last two up diagonally. Go to the opposite side, turn your loom around if it makes this easier for you. This is kind of funny the angle I'm at here. I think I'm gonna have to pull this down a little bit to see it myself. Hold on. There we go. Sometimes they get kind of stuck on each other. Bottom two, and bottom two. Grab a single brown band, get it ready and handy. Right hand, take your hook pointed away from you, push it through the bands on the top center peg, grab that brown band, slide it up and through, and when you come up you can put the other side on and pull one over the other and over the top of the hook to make a securing knot. Hold on to that tight, or put it on a C-clip or onto a hook, and you can take the rest of Electra off of the loom here. Oh, okay, so we're gonna turn her around. And go to the back. On the back side, go under a couple of nearby bands. Take your securing hook and slide it under. Put that onto a C-clip. One of these babies here. I'll put that under another band so it stays steady. Turn her back to the front. Press the eyes through to a comfortable spot. Give a little tug push adjustment. See, now I did want my armband to be on the left or the right side, so what we could do is take it off, stretch it out, go to the other arm, pop it over and twist, and we're all set. See, told you that was an easy fix. Alright, so let me hold up the camera and have a bit of a look. The camera's dusty, so I hope you've got a better, clearer view than I do, but at any rate, there is Electra. So I said I've got Daredevil, the Flash, a couple other things here and there, so please have a look at my other videos, and I thank you for watching.